Is this on? Ready? Says I'm live. Hi. Hey, hey, hey. How are you? Come on. I mean, trying to go live on Instagram too. So, uh, mm, well, I don't know. Anyway, how is everyone? How are you guys? I'm not going to be on here very long. Um, hi, William. I just wanted to come on and just talk about something that I've been kind of saying for a couple of weeks now, and I just want to add a bit more context to it. So we often say, parents often say, listen to the teacher, right? But many times, and what we've seen over the last couple of years is that teachers are telling children that your parents don't know anything. I am your savior. They're keeping pertinent information from parents. They're just blatantly disrespecting parents, right? And I mean, we've even seen politicians say, you know, your children don't belong to you. We heard Joe Biden say, you know, the children are for everybody. They don't belong to just you. The children are for everybody. And here's the thing, though, when your teacher is telling the child, your parents don't know anything, and then the parent is telling the child, listen to your teacher. Think about the confusion that has to create for a child. The child is being told, two different things and being pointed away from the parents, and then parents wonder why they cannot connect with their children. They're wondering why they're losing their connection with their children. Their children are becoming so distant from them, disconnected to them, and parents are left wondering, like, what's going on with my child. And then on top of that, we are told that children just naturally are going to rebel. And I was thinking the other day, I don't know if you guys saw my short or my reel. I was thinking, like, well, if children are naturally rebellious at a time when they need parents the most, why would God make children that way? Like, why would, if that is a natural function? Now, I'm not saying, because I posted this and people were like, all people are rebellious. Yes, I understand we are all born with sin. That is not what I'm talking about. Because when people say children are rebellious, the response is not, oh, well, all people are born in sin. That is not the response that we get. The response that we get is, oh, well, that's normal. That is natural for children to be just rebelling against their parents, right? So if God made our children to naturally rebel, like at a certain age, they're going to go through the difficult teenage years and do that whole thing. Why didn't we see that in earlier times in history? Why didn't we see that? Because this is a relatively new phenomenon that children are just totally, rejecting what their parents are saying. They are totally wanting to be away from, their parents. And if you think about it, it's not really normal. Now, you have a child who is brought up and reared in a home with family and people that love them, right? And so I think I'm having some internet issues. And so we're supposed to believe that children are just going to want to leave that comfort, going to want to leave the only, the family that they know, that naturally want to be around their family. It doesn't really make sense if you think about it. If you think about human behavior, being around people that you're familiar with, being around people that you're comfortable around, being around people that love you, being around the people that have taken care of you your whole entire life, all of a sudden when you're 12, you're supposed to automatically just, reject your parents. And I think we should think a little bit more about that. I think we should start to question where that comes from, because it doesn't really make sense. Feel free to chime in the comment section if you guys have a different opinion. I would love to know. But I'm just kind of fascinated by this topic right now, because parents are telling their children to listen to the teacher. The teacher's telling the child that your parents don't know anything. They're old, they're outdated, they are dumb, they are traditional. We are the experts. Teachers, they themselves are set, they are made to believe that they are the experts, when if you question the teacher, sometimes they don't know much. I remember when I was in 7th grade, my English teacher was writing my mom a letter because, shocker, I was talking a lot because I like to talk. And I was talking too much. And she misspelled a word that she wrote to the English teacher, misspelled words in the letter that she wrote to my mom. My mom is a grammar snob. So she had a fit that the English teacher, did not know how to spell in 7th grade. We're not talking, some high level university class here. We're talking 7th grade English. Okay. So, they don't know everything. And I'm not saying that we should be putting the teachers against the, trying to make a fight and make it uncomfortable for, the good teachers out there. But I think we are just in a time where we need to question everything. I just think we need to question, why do we do the things that we do? And I've always kind of been fascinated with human behavior. I've always been fascinated by why people do the things that they do. I mean, I closely examine my own life. Why do I do these things? What makes me behave the way I do? So, human behavior has always been, pretty fascinating to me. And I think we should, in the time and age that we're living in, when so many lies and so much deception has just been pushed upon a society in mass, we should be questioning the things that we believe. Like a lot of Americans have this big romanticized idea about the public school system. Like, you tell these people, this system, this public school system has literally said, we are going to hide your child's quote unquote gender from you. We're going to hide a mental health illness from you. Okay. Like, they have said, we're going to keep a medical, because I'm not even going to put it in quotations, because it is medical. Because if you're saying that there is something going on mentally, they're saying out loud that they're going to keep it from you, that you don't deserve to know. And so if they're willing to say this, yes, correct, William. Teachers are indoctrinating kids in public schools. That's just a fact. But if they're willing to say this out loud in public, I think it's time that we just start to question some things. Why do we have this romanticized idea about the public school system? I mean, who told us that was the best way to raise children? Who? Where do we ever get that from? That's not when America was creating its best and brightest. That's not America. We didn't have a public school system when America was producing its brightest and best and most brilliant minds. We didn't have a public school system. And now, who are the kids that's doing that the companies are looking to hire? Who are the kids that that are excelling in society? It's not the public school kids. Sorry to tell you, it's the homeschooled kids. It's the one room. It's the one room school. You know how we used to educate. Those are the children that are excelling currently, right now. So we should start to question. Hey, Raymond. Thank you. Amen. Yes. We should question these people. We absolutely should. Why are we telling our children to listen to teachers who are telling our children that we're stupid, that we're dumb, that they're going to hide pertinent information from us? Why are we listening to them? Why? I come across so many parents who just have a very, very, very hard time accepting the fact that the schooling system is whack. It's a joke. It is a joke. It's like, how many times can we see America at the bottom of the education list? How many times can we see these piss poor grades, these scores of kids knowing absolutely nothing? How many times can we see it before we start to realize maybe this system is not that great? Maybe it's just not that great. And of course, I don't mean that every single school is terrible. There's some great schools. Cornerstone Classical Academy, great school. Obviously, you guys know that I think homeschooling is the best, but I think that, yeah, there are very few schools, even charters, even privates, that are doing what they need to do, because most tend to, again, have this romanticized idea, and they still continue to follow the public school system. They still continue with that model. Even when you homeschool, I will tell you, here's a little secret. Here's a little homeschool secret. Raymond says, amen, homeschoolers. Hey, thanks. They are the most brilliant genius. I think so. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of a pro at this now, but I can almost tell you when a kid is homeschooled, because they are just different. They are the manners that they have many times, they're not afraid to talk to adults, because they don't put all the kids in one. Kids are only dealing with, all the 8-year-olds are only talking to 8-year-olds. No, they put kids amongst they make it more like real life, because in real life, you're going to be amongst different age groups. You're going to have to live and work amongst different age groups. You're going to have to communicate amongst different age groups. But in school, from kindergarten to 12th grade, kindergartners only talking to kindergartners. First graders are only talking to first graders. Third graders are only talking to third graders. It is, well, you are talking to multiple levels of kids. And so they are able to better communicate. What? My daughter is over here, who is in a homeschool co-op. No. What?
The reason.
Yeah.
Hello. The reason why you're only in public school, you're only surrounded by an age group, is because most kids are on the same level, or they don't typically move you up if you're above level. That's why. Homeschool, if you're on a different level than your age group, they're going to move you up. So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with them trying to keep you, oh, we only want you to talk to this kind of group of people.
No, I'm not saying that I'm saying it's a one. So that was my daughter. So here's what she says. So she says that she believes that this is a great example. My daughter was sitting over here. She hears what I'm saying. She says, she says, may I say something? And I said, okay, what do you want to say? And she presents a argument and says, well, I think that the public schools they have the kids in the same grade because they're all basically testing at the same level. And that's partly true, but the reason why the whole thing starts at the same level is because it's a one size fits all. So she just doesn't know more about how the system works. Thank God, because she ain't in it. But it's a one size fits all. So they try to get the most typical child, and they're going to mold and make everything around that one child. And so everybody who's 8 years old, they're going to learn that curriculum. Everybody who's, so it ends up being everybody's learning the same thing, regardless of if you are smarter, because there are a lot of 8-year-olds that can read way better and do more advanced math than other 8-year-olds. And they're still going to be stuck with the 8-year-olds that can only do what they can do, or some that aren't even on that level yet, because it's a one size fits all. It's not a customized education system. And so Jacqueline Rosario says, hi, Keisha. Hi. Public schools are grade-based, not skill-based. Yes, they are. They're grade-based. So are you listening? Mm-hmm. Public schools are grade-based, not skill-based. So you're partially right. Yes, that's actually kind of what she was saying. But what my point is that holds kids back. And it doesn't encourage the kids who need to do better to come up, because you're only dealing with one group. So a kid, let's say he's 8 and let's say he's not doing so well. He or she's not doing so well. Maybe if he has some conversations with a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old, that maybe can explain something to him in a way that they understand, and helps him get up to another level. Because when you're working and dealing with like real life, if school was more modeled after like a real life where you're working and dealing with people of different age groups, you can get wisdom from some of these other age groups. You can learn things from different groups of people. Hi, John. You're the teacher. I'm listening. Hello. Raymond says, you may know the DiPietro family. They're smartest young men you'll ever meet. Aaron is now policy director for. Yes, I know the DiPietro family. Very, very fond of the entire family. Great, great people. But that is my point. This system is it's not really meant to educate. It's meant to school, meaning it's meant to teach you one thing, test to see if you can get that thing, and then pass you on. It's not meant to really give a robust education. That's why kids aren't interested. If you think about when your child was, a toddler, 1, 2, 3, 4, before kindergarten, before they went into the system, think about how they learned. First of all, they were around different age groups because they're around their parents, okay? And they're learning from an older age. They're learning from parents, but not just you as a parent sitting and just directing things. You're sitting on the floor with them. You're using blocks. They're touching, they're sensing, they're smelling things, they're putting things in their mouth. They're experiencing the world around them. That's how we learn. But we put them into this system that sits them in this little box. You can't touch, you can't smell, you can't use your senses. You're not experiencing the world. Learning shuts down. It is different. That's why we're seeing kids not learn. And then on top of that, they're saying, listen to what I say. If you make a mistake, we're going to fail you. If this is not an area where you can question. This is not a place where you can you really get to this is not a place where you really get to experience. This is a place where there is an expert who just dictates information to you that you are to memorize. That is not learning. And I'm not trying to hate on, Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. No, I'm hating on the public school system because I think what I know about it now is just, I detest it because it was never created for children to be educated. It was meant to make little minions of the state. That's what it is. And the fastest that parents can understand what they are dealing with, I think that is the first thing. You have to understand what you're dealing with. Then you can properly change that paradigm. You can have a paradigm shift around the schooling system and properly, if you can't pull your kids out, because I understand everybody can't do it. God knows I wish we could, and we could just shut this whole thing down and just topple it to the ground. I would love nothing more than for this Goliath to come to a complete and utter end. It has done more destruction with the minds of American children. You know, this is the communist breeding ground. This is their sanctuary. This is where they worship, and our children are sitting in there as you know, they're trying to grow their disciples. You know, John says how to think instead of what to think. Yes, they don't teach how to think. They don't. If you have your child in a public school, ask your children, you know, logic, see what their progression of logic is. You know, Jacqueline says, you're right. It's difficult for public schools to teach specific students' needs or create 20 different lessons based on individual students' interests and needs. The original one-room schoolhouse model has students of different ages in one room and teach them all based on mastery of skills. I love this discussion. You are so right. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Girl, you know you are my girl. Y'all, let me tell you, Miss Jacqueline ain't the one. She does not play the radio, honey. That is a fighter, honey. She is a fighter. She is a fighter. I remember, Jacqueline, that was you, right? At the library when we were doing the books. That was you, right? I think that was Jacqueline. Yes, that's my y'all. Shoot, y'all think I ain't nothing? No, Jacqueline ain't nothing to be played with. I was like, yes. She was getting them together. This woman is I would say highly responsible for getting these books out of Florida. This woman, Jacqueline Rosario, I'm telling you, y'all, the beast, a whole beast, nothing to be played with. Incredibly smart, just on it. I was very impressed, and just she's fierce. She's fierce. Love you back. But yes, you know, you're right, Jacqueline. No, they can't possibly create all the, you know, 20 different lesson plans and, you know, customize them for our uniquely and wonderfully made children. You know, like, it's impossible to think that they could. And they knew that they couldn't do that. So what did they do? They create one way. Okay, we got one standard way. Everybody's got to meet this standard. And, you know, the rest of you is, I don't know, sucks for you. You know, it's that. But most of our kids, they are unique. We are made to be unique. We weren't made to conform. We were made to be unique. Now we have all these kids who are literally terrified of being themselves. Y'all remember how it was? I remember being terrified of being myself, because you come into this system and being unique and being creative and looking different and being different and thinking different is not okay, because we got one standard here. And any of you who try to get out of line with this standard, you're not cool. Okay, you are not welcome. We don't welcome anything other than the standard. So I don't know what to tell, you know, can you imagine? You just go back. Y'all remember how you ever see kids they got on there. It's like summertime and they got on their rain boots. It's not raining. They got on their, they want to wear their Halloween tutu. Okay. They want to wear something that they just want to express themselves a little differently today. And even as parents, we're like, no, don't wear that. Don't do this. Don't, so we are constantly, children are their creativity is being pulled out of them. It's being suppressed. That's a better way to say it. It's being suppressed, and we're not really seeing the uniqueness of our children. That's why America's not really creating anything anymore, because don't nobody know how to do anything but the one thing. Everybody knows how to get a job, go to school, get a job. Nobody knows how to create the innovation. Where's the innovation? Where are the inventors? It's like, and the ones who did leave school, the Zuckerbergs and they end up, the ones that actually did take a chance, they took a risk, they left school. But you know what? Look at Elon Musk, homeschooled man, and an innovator. I think I can rest my case on that. A homeschooled man who is innovating. We might not like everything that Elon Musk does. I certainly got some questions, but I'm happy to hear people thinking. I'm glad to hear people thinking. So yes, John. Oh my goodness. Low resolution thinkers are easier to control. Sadly, that is so true. And that was part of the system, part of why the system was created. Do you guys know the history of American public schooling, mass compulsory schooling from Prussia? I talk about this all the time, but it is a very important thing. A lot of people don't know this. Our current modern schooling system was imported from a country that no longer exists called Prussia. And they lost a war to the French, and they were trying to figure out, how do we get these rogue soldiers to comply? We need them docile. And so this man came in, Johann Fichte, and he, devised this system that was to dumb down the children, kill the imagination, and make them just little soldiers of the state. They were not to think, they were to obey. That is it. And so America, the father of education, John Dewey, he hopped his behind on, went on over there and said, wow, this is fantastic, and brought it back over here to America. And this schooling system is relatively new. This is not how we used to educate. It is not. And so I don't know. I just find it interesting, that we tell our children to listen to the teachers who are telling, and the teachers are telling our children not to listen to the parents. And then parents, we are wondering why our children are so distant from us, why we can't connect with them, why they just seem like you don't even know them. You barely even like them. I was there. I will tell you, I was there. My children would come home. I did not know, because I didn't raise this. I didn't know what that was. Didn't know what it was and didn't like it. But once they got homeschooled, all of that stuff fell away. And then slowly, as I started to have these conversations with them, they were coming back. They were still in the school system at the time. But I mean, my daughter, she was one of the ones like, hey, they're asking me about pronouns. Hey, they're talking about critical race theory, because we were having conversations. So there are ways that you can protect your children while they are in the system. I fervently believe you won't get the best results, but you can start to seed that ground. You certainly can start to get the claws out little by little by having great conversations with your children, getting that bond back with your children, and your voice being the louder voice in their mind than the system's voice. You can do this. You can do it. John says, no, I did not know that. That is why they started pushing the Bible out of education. No. So the Bible going out of the school came much later. This was in the late 1800s. This was in like 1839, I think, somewhere around in there. And then like mid to late 1800s, it was all over the United States, about certainly in the early 1900s. But yeah, no, the Bible came out, I believe, in the 60s, I want to say. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so my beef is, or my goal rather, not my beef. I've ranted enough. But my goal is to help parents now who cannot pull their kids out. So I have this course, and we're doing a free workshop on the February 2nd, Lord have mercy, February 15th. It's coming up. I will put the link. I should have had that ready. My bad. Put a link here. But I'm trying to help parents understand the types of conversations that they need to be having with their kids, so their children can let them know, what's going on. Because we got a big problem. Just think, if little by little, every children, prayer was banned in schools in 1963. Okay, thank you, Remy. Yeah, that's what I thought. If little by little we are having children grow up and be further and further to the left, this next crop, this next generation, what are we going to have? We have got to start talking to our children. We have got, and it's not even about a political thing as so much of it is a spiritual and intellectual thing. Like, these kids are not thinking, and they certainly don't, they're losing. We're not seeing the fervor for, knowing that you are made in the image of God, like knowing that if you see a building, that there is a builder. Like, they are literally teaching evolution theory in kindergarten. They drop these little seeds that you come from slime, that you come from nothing. And impossible, they are teaching the impossible, an impossible idea that you come from nothing. Everything comes from something. But I mean, that's why we have kids that believe that they can turn themselves into somebody else. Oh, I can just say if we are telling children that you come from nothing, that literally is impossible. There is nothing that we can look at in the material world and say, I see something, but nothing made it. But they will tell your kids, nothing made you. You came from some explosion, no thinking. Anyway. Oh, y'all help me. Pray for me. Lauren LaRose, I wish I could pull my kids out of public school. I have a 6th grader and a 10th grader. However, they are both good kids. That is wonderful. I wish you could too. I wish you could too. I really would encourage you to jump on the workshop that I'm doing on the 15th. I think there are some great resources of conversations and things that you can learn how to have conversations with your children so they can be mentally strong, so they can let you know of the indoctrination when it happens in the classroom, because many times the way that they weave these things into curriculum and into the everyday the kids' lives, you would not even know. Kids don't even realize that it's happening, and by the time the parent realizes, you're down to the school board meeting, it is too late. It has already happened. And they've been saying this stuff to your kids over and over and over. I have an acronym. It's called AAI. Always assume indoctrination, because it's part of the system. It is part of the system. And so, it's just a reality that we have to deal with. It's not too big. There's nothing too big for God. We can definitely handle this. We just have to know what to say, how to talk to our children. I definitely will. Thank you for your information. I appreciate it. No problem, Lauren. You are so welcome. Raymond says, when the 10 Commandments came out of schools, a judge literally ruled the 10 Commandments may be seen by a child and cause brain damage. Oh my goodness. The judge literally said that. Now look at what they're learning. Exactly. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. John says, those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. Voltaire. Okay. Truth. That is the truth. It is certainly, we can do better than this. I'll end with this. We can do better than this. We can do better than this. Our children deserve everything we have. Our children, I think my internet's messing up again, but our children deserve everything that we have. God has charged us to be good stewards over them, and they deserve for us to, they deserve everything, especially when these people are literally saying, you don't matter as a parent. Your children belong to us, and we will do with them what we will. And I dare you to say something. Ooh, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. So our children deserve better than that, than people just sitting there lying to them and trying to get them to believe this foolishness. So thank you guys for watching my live. Yes, so this is something you probably will see me talk about this a bit more, because I just, I feel like the Lord just dropped this in my spirit the other day. We tell our kids to listen to the teacher, and then we turn around and the teacher says to the kids, your parents are stupid. So they're literally bashing your parents, and then we're telling our children to listen to what the teacher says. So we are essentially saying to our children, your teacher is right about me. That's what we're saying. Your teacher is right that I don't know anything, and I want you to listen to them. Yes, thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys later. Hope you have a great rest of the week. God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.